Hey VC, it's Matt. Hope everyone's having a good day. Hold on, I got to get myself prepared here for the video shoot. Yeah, hey, I haven't made a video. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, but haven't really gotten anything new lately is the reason. I got some Amazon gift cards for Christmas, and because people that know me don't have a clue what to buy for me. They know I like music, but they don't. They say, you listen to all that crazy weird stuff, so uh, they get me gift cards, which is great, and just haven't spent those yet. There's some things I want to get, but so haven't got anything new. That's why I showed new, which I'd already shown, or maybe I have it upside down, I'm not sure. I guess it doesn't really matter. Anyway, been playing that a lot. I was playing it, had to get up early this morning and do some work that I didn't do yesterday on a magazine article, so I played it over and over, and I'm really really enjoying that album. I'm thinking this might be his best album since well, I like the Fireman, the Electric Arguments, but other than that, I think maybe back to Tug of War. I'm not sure, but uh, what this is Joe, Mean MrMayo's 500 subscribers contest. I thought I would make a video for that, and shirt just looks like um, so yeah, congratulations, Joe, 500 subscriptions, and I was surprised. I would have figured it would have been more, but every one of them is well deserved. And enjoy your videos. I subscribe to quite a few people, and there's several, including you, that I always look forward to every time you all make a video and what you have to say and everything. So the other reason I showed new is that the album I was going to use for this video went to get, and I do not have it anymore apparently, which kind of surprised me. It must have been something that I sold or traded in somewhere back there. But we'll get on to the contest. Joe had 5 questions. The grooming thing, since we already sort of covered that, do I do anything to prepare for the video shoots? Not really. I thought about putting on a shirt and tie for this video, but it's the weekend and I've had a long week and I'm just kind of lazy. And like I said, I got up at about 4 this morning to do some work that I should have done yesterday, so it's a lazy day. But I kind of make sure the hair isn't sticking up like it tends to do sometimes, and sometimes I'll shave. Didn't today, you know, but you know, put a shirt on. I don't know, but so yeah, nothing special there. That was question number 5. The first question was name an artist where the greatest hits would be okay, and you don't really need anything past that from them. And I couldn't really think of anything too much. It took me a while to think of something. I was going to get, I had the Best of the Animals and the Best of the Monkeys once upon a time, but apparently I no longer do. I wouldn't mind having, and those were the only albums that I ever had by either of those bands. I wouldn't mind picking up some of the Animals or the Monkeys albums if I were to run across them, find them for $1 or 2 or something. But and I like both bands a lot. The Animals are great, the Monkeys are great, but greatest hits, I mean, that I had those, and that pretty much did me on those bands. Only other thing I could really think of, Duran Duran maybe. I like I like them okay. I like some of their songs. Some of them I'm not that big on, but and some of their hits, even though, like Rio and Hungry Like the Wolf, they're just sort of okay, but just there. But there's a couple of their songs I like, so greatest hits by them might do me well. Only thing I have by them is a 12-inch single of the Reflex that I bought way back in '84, I think is when that came out. Um, Someone mentioned Creedence Clearwater Revival on one of these, and that's maybe them too. I've heard their albums, and while the album cuts, the non-hits they're okay. They're kind of samey sounding, so I don't dislike them. But if I had a greatest hits by them, but that could even go into question number 4, and I'll get that in a minute. But then what did I say? Pat Benatar. I never had anything by her except Heartbreaker 45, which I bought way back in '79, I believe is when that came out. I always liked her on the radio and liked her songs, but I just never liked enough to go out and buy the records. Uh, so, maybe Greatest Hits by her would work. Um, a lot of the bands, Blondie, I love the album, so, um, I wouldn't want just the Greatest Hits. Um, but yeah, so there's that. Let's see. Let's skip down to Overplayed because I kind of mentioned that before. Uh, Credence, even though I like them, there's a um, um, oldies radio station here in Fort Worth and Dallas that kind of plays them to death or has played them to death through the years, and so um, you know I still like the songs, but not really in the mood to hear them anytime soon again. The other thing, and the other part of that though, is that I have not listened to regular radio, with the exception of being in someone else's car or just in a restaurant or something, in a good 6, 7 years. Uh, at home, I don't really play the radio. I play records or CDs or the iPod in the car. I CDs and I have XM radio, so I can kind of pick and choose what I need when I want to listen to. So I get to avoid a lot of stuff that I don't like that oldies radio station that's been around for 30 some years and has a playlist of, I think, probably 30 songs that they just play over and over and over. Uh, like Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, you would think that's the only song he ever recorded, and then he retired by listening to them. Or Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. They don't realize that they made some more songs. Uh, but I haven't listened to it in so long that last time I heard Satisfaction, I actually enjoyed it because hadn't heard it in several years. So uh, The Who on the Overplayed, though, would probably be the main one for me. The what I like to call the CSI songs, Won't Get Fooled Again, Baba O'Reilly, um, Behind Blue Eyes is not a CSI song, but you know what I'm saying, and Who Are You, which I never was that crazy about those songs to begin with, but they've just been played into the ground. For me, The Who, I like. The Who should have broken up in 1967, in my opinion, because you got the first album, a quick one, and then Sell Out and the singles, and those are great. And everything they did past then is I mean, this might be controversial opinion to some, but I think it's pretty boring. Who's Next is just I would even back in the day, I always considered that just sort of a dull ass arena rock album, and Quadrophenia is more of the same, even though it's got a couple of good songs maybe. Who by Numbers has three really good songs, and the rest of it's pretty dull. Who Are You is really dull, and oddly enough, I like the two post Keith Moon albums, which nobody else but me likes, I believe. But there you go. So The Who, not my generation and anywhere, anyhow, and he can't explain in those songs, but the CSI songs I could do well without ever hearing those again. Um, Number three, any songs you're embarrassed by? Not really. I mean, I've got such a huge uh, range of stuff that I like in music that regular people just know that I like music and that I like a bunch of stuff that they've never heard of outside of things like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. So closest thing, I've got no CDs or records, but I've got two Mandy Moore songs on my iPod, which is Stupid Cupid and Drop the Pilot, which is her cover version of a Laura Nyro song, I believe. They just sounded good, so I like them. There's one of the cheesy Chicago songs I like, the If You Leave Me Now, which is kind of lame, but I like it. Past that, I don't really care what anyone thinks about my taste in music other than myself, so I don't have any Barney singing dinosaur albums or anything in my collection. So we did Overplayed. We did that great. The last one is number two. Band or artist considered great, but you don't like them. Well, how much time do we have today? Because I love a ton of music, but there's also a ton of music I really don't like. So, um, I mean, I don't like the Police, you know, one or two songs aside. I can't stand U2, maybe two songs. Uh, I don't like, well, I could go on, but um, kind of narrowed it down to two. First one being Nirvana, who I don't, not going to say I hate them, not going to say that they're not talented or the guy wasn't talented, and it's a shame that his life was such that he died young, and might have been interesting to see what he would have done otherwise. But uh, for me, the thing about they don't do anything for me. They're pretty good, I guess, but they just never did anything for me. But the thing that kind of gets my goat with them is when you see these Rolling Stone, which is a laughing stock of a magazine anyway, but some of these other magazines that aren't, that are a little more on the ball, when they do these top 100 albums of all times lists like they do every couple of years or so, you see the Nirvana album, whatever, Nevermind, or whatever it is, the Baby in the Pool album, and it's up at like number 4 or 5. It's like, no, 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 no. It's okay, but it doesn't belong on a top 200 albums of all time list, let alone a top 100, and let alone in the top 5 or 10 or anywhere near there. It's not terrible, but I appreciate the fact that they kind of came along in 90, 91, or whatever, where the late 80s had been, the charts had been kind of synth pop bands and Michael Jackson and dance music, and so it was kind of a return of rock and roll to the charts, and I get that, but um, they're just, they're not in the league with the Kinks and the Beatles and the Clash and bands like that by any stretch of the imagination. They're average rock and roll band and little more. And on a scale of 1 to 10, 3.54 maybe. But it's just kind of silly to me to see that album and that band get that much recognition. It's kind of like taking some random band, Three Dog Night or Grand Funk Railroad, and elevating them up to this iconic, legendary status when they're just a okay band and little else. And so there's that. And the other one that I should like, you would think with my taste in music, and I don't dislike, but David Bowie, and that might ruffle some feathers, but he's he's got a handful of really good songs, not more than I don't know. I mean, 5, 10 songs that I like. He's got some songs that are okay, and the rest of it is just, I don't know. He's good, but he's overrated in my opinion. So that's it, huh? Anyway, congratulations, Mean Mr. Mayo, on your 500. Hope you get 500 more, and beyond that even more, real soon. Certainly deserve it. Hope everybody's having a good weekend, and take care.